Last week, Paul McCartney turned 80. 80 years old, what an incredible milestone. And you would expect someone at some point to slow down, right? But at the moment, he's doing another world tour, playing stadiums. Talk about longevity. This man is simply unstoppable. All the more reasons for me to do a video on why McCartney kicks ass. That was the guitar solo from Maybe I'm Amazed, one of my favorite McCartney songs ever. And the guitar, of course, played by Sir Paul himself. Now, when you think of McCartney, you don't necessarily think of him as an electric guitarist. But remember, this guy can play almost any instrument, and annoyingly well also. For example, the story goes that George Harrison, while recording or trying to record a guitar solo for a song called Taxman, McCartney just got fed up after an hour, took the guitar, and in one take, played. Has to be somewhat annoying sometimes for his fellow musicians, right? Not only can he do it, he can do it better. And not just on the guitar though, but on many instruments. For example, the album Band on the Run, that's him doing all the drumming, McCartney. And when you compare it to the previous drummer they had, it's better. It's just better drumming. Very annoying. Now back to the electric guitar. There aren't too many examples of him playing the lead guitar, but whenever he does it, he likes to take the melody of a song and just take that as the basis for his guitar solo. For example, when he writes a song like guess what the guitar solo is gonna be? Why make it difficult when you can play the melody as in the vocals? It's the oldest trick in the book, really, but few things work better than that. Now that's McCartney on the lead guitar, but of course, a good guitarist also knows the art of writing a great riff. And McCartney wrote several. Here are a few of my favorite McCartney riffs. Besides McCartney, the guitarist, we also have McCartney, the pianist. Many of the songs he wrote and still writes at 80 years old, amazing, are behind the piano. And as far as I know, he never took any formal piano lessons, so he developed his own unique way of doing it, his own style. Now, normally, when you play the piano in the left hand, you would have the chords, the harmonies, and the right hand would do the melody. Yeah? Whether it's jazz or classical music. But McCartney instead prefers to play only one octave in the left hand. And perhaps break the octave. And then let the right hand do the harmonies, the chords. And it's astonishing how many songs he wrote with this idea, the octave in the left hand. So many times he does that. Now, that McCartney ranks as one of the most successful songwriters of all time comes as no surprise. But, in fact, he is the #1 most successful songwriter of all time, according to the World Guinness Book of Records. Now, when you think of it, it's really astonishing. From 1963 way up until 1987, McCartney scored a #1 hit each year. That's 24 years, consecutive years of #1 hit records. That's unprecedented. If you're an artist, you might be lucky to have a few years of hit records. But you're not gonna get 24. That's insane. Now, part of the reason of his success, I think, is that he wrote so many songs. And let's be honest, McCartney did write a few less than stellar songs. For example, this one. That's hardly on the same level as Let It Be, right? But you gotta give it to McCartney. Even when he writes a crappy song, it still manages to linger in your head somehow. Amazing. Think that not having enjoyed formal music lessons when you're young, like McCartney, is a certain disadvantage, right? But it doesn't have to be. It can be actually an advantage. You might discover things that other people don't, merely because there's no teacher telling you what not to do. And just like on the piano, where McCartney has his own unique left hand in order to write a song, he does the same thing on the guitar with fingerpicking. Now, the story goes that he wasn't able to figure out regular fingerpicking, which is... So instead, he created his own version, and that is... It's actually a little bit more hard. One might wonder, why is he able to do the harder version and not the regular version? But that's just how it happens to be. Now, the way to do it is, you want to mostly use one finger. McCartney uses his index finger. I prefer to use my middle finger. And just first pick a string in an upward motion. Then you strum down with the same finger, with sort of the fingernails. So together that makes... Then you add the bass. What an incredible, great, beautiful way to do it, right? And he uses that fingerpicking hybrid strumming technique in many, many songs. the final reason why McCartney kicks ass, for me, is, of course, the man's bass playing. Now, above all, the best bass player for me personally, and number one, has to be James Jamerson. That's just my personal opinion. But on a close second, there's McCartney, not because he's a technical virtuoso, but because of his melodies and very adventurous bass playing. When you have a song, chords and melody like this, what would a bass player play? Well, not in a million years, though, would you have a bass player that would do. Or even. It's very busy, dominant bass guitar playing, and normally that wouldn't work. But it works here because of the grace of Ringo Starr's drumming, which is very minimal, leaving lots of open space for McCartney to do his thing, which shows you the greatness of the Beatles. It was a perfect fit, each member complementing each other perfectly. Anyway, McCartney, 80 years old, still going strong, long may it continue. What an inspiration, right? You can still rock and play stadiums at 80 years old. And there are many reasons why McCartney kicks ass. Perhaps most importantly, because he seems like a genuine, nice guy, besides being the greatest songwriter and all that stuff. This was Guitar Pilgrim signing out. I will see you next time.